in a minute.
Okay.
All right, I think it's a go.
You look frozen.
We do look frozen.
Just funny.
Let's go on here. Says we're live, so we'll just
Oh.
talk to ourselves
Okay.
for a minute while I set up the Instagram. Hey everybody. So we're a day late, not a dollar short. And this is not a Zoom. We're actually together today. So
Yay.
yeah.
In person.
In
Well, we're in
person
person.
live.
Yeah. And so we are in Denver, and Dana is mastering the art of lymphatic massage this week. So it's pretty awesome to be among people that are constantly learning new things and teaching others how to help other people in that arena. And so, we know that the lymphatic system, I mean, I'm a registered nurse, so we talk a lot about cardio, but we don't always talk about the lymphatic system because it's kind of like one of those things that gets forgotten, right? And and so it's not addressed often,
No.
but it has so much to do with the cardiovascular system because they basically run alongside each other. And so, yeah, so it's very interesting just the things that she's told me,
Yeah.
and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense,
Yeah. And our instructor, she does such an amazing job of teaching. This is my second class attending with her, and she makes it fun and inviting, to learn new things. So it's always interesting. And she talks about, the education that's on the circulatory system in any textbook is very, very thick. Right. And then the very next thing is usually lymphatic, and it's one page.
Yeah.
There's a lot that people still don't know about the lymphatic system. And it's one of those things that we need it. It's our sewer system of the body. It's how we capture and collect all the bacteria and all the yuck. So it's been enlightening. But I told Dina I was coming down here for this training for my massage business, and she says, "Oh, well, maybe I'll just fly over." And I was like, "Yeah, we can work in the evenings."
Yeah, we can get some work done,
Yeah,
So,
we
yeah.
haven't. We've eaten really well.
Yeah.
However,
We had some adventure tonight. We had Himalayan dinner, which was really different from pretty much
so different.
anything that
Yeah.
I've ever tried, which
There was a lot of goat on the menu. We did not
we did not partake in the goat.
No, maybe next time
Yeah.
we will expand on that adventure. But yeah, so went out for pizza last night after I picked her up from the airport and after class, and were talking, and then by the time we got back here it was way too late to jump onto our Let's Get Raw business talk. So just some wins. I think this is a win. This is really exciting as business owners when you can take the time and getting that time freedom back, right? To be able to just travel and do whatever, when you need to and in the moment and live vicariously and just be able to embrace each other's presence in person. Because with her in Missouri and me in North Dakota, we don't really get to see much of each other. But as we transition further along with our software company, we're going to do a lot more of these in-person meetings and stuff, and we've got some in-person meetings with some clients and stuff coming up, so that's really exciting. Hopefully somebody pops on and tells us whether or not they can hear us, because we're using some new technology that sometimes works and sometimes doesn't, so it's really dependent. We get really good at doing our videos, and then we go to listen to them and we have no volume.
Yeah. Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, business fail. Let's
Like,
talk about business
dang,
getting raw,
did
all the
this
failures.
some video and I killed it, and then there was no sound.
Yeah, total kick in the shin.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So crazy.
So, yeah, so some other things that we've kind of worked on. We have a really good team in place, and we kind of touched on that last week as we were visiting in any successful business, you have to have a team in place. And I mentioned the book that I was reading, the 10x is better than, not better, is easier than 2x.
Mm-hmm.
And that's only by offloading that 80% of the things that you're not necessarily good at,
Yeah.
or that you thrive in, so that you can excel in the extra 20%.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we have a really great team in place, which makes this capable, so that we can have them helping us on the back end so that we're able to do what we're best at. So, and getting in front of each other so that we can
Mhm.
throw ideas back and forth. That's one of the biggest wins as a business owners.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's super important too to have that time, or at least feel like you can step away from your business.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like being able to come and sit down. Now we get to be face to face, and a lot more gets to transpire versus when we're on Zoom. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's just really nice to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And
With the restrictions of the hotel room, there's only one desk in the hotel room, or I think last night we both had our laptops open and we were going over all the things that need to be done, and answering questions and jumping on huddles with our team through Slack. And we go to sit up and we're like, oh God,
Yeah.
to be 20 again,
I could use a
when things-
massage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you've been getting massages, which
Right.
is so cool. You know what I mean? When you're like, oh, what? Don't worry, they're gonna fix me tomorrow.
Yeah.
They're gonna drain all my lymph, and it's gonna be great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. So yeah, what else have we got going on in our business
Well,
that we've
I think too, like addressing, because you are a massage therapist, like you've utilized this software in order to transform that business so that you can start another business, which is really cool. And so I know that you have a lot of businesses, and only one of them is massage, but being able to say, okay, look, like it takes me, 6 hours a week to send out reminders, and then also get people scheduled on my schedule, and then make sure that they show up, collect their payments, and then make sure that they show up for their massage,
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
and then taking that, what you used to actually have to physically do each
Yeah.
time for each person in your business. And now we have taken those tasks off your plate with the system and the software, what we are offering business owners, right?
Mhm.
And like how does that like feel?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Knowing that my business can still run on the back end,
Mhm.
and without me having to do all the things. And those of you that caught my live earlier this week, I talked about what it is that the software is, right? It's a customer relationship management tool. And that's exactly what it does. It has different areas that it can help my business be very, very strategic in how I communicate with clients, whether it's through email for confirmation, or it's a website so that they can schedule that appointment, whether it's a reminder so that they show up for the appointment,
Yeah.
collecting the payment so that I don't have to worry about invoicing. It's all just automated through the system.
Yeah.
That took a little bit of time to set up, and get that flow and that functionality kind of just tweaked just like I want. What's really cool is I've made it in my voice, so it's as if someone was to call and have a conversation with me. That's what's represented through the system.
And I like that. So like, and I don't know, like people always go, oh my gosh, like you're so busy. And I'm like, I am? Like, I'm really not that busy, but I'm able to run my business in 3 days a week because I have these tools, and a lot of the stuff is going on in the background. And so all they see is me following up, me sending out emails, me setting up new events, and then I've got this other thing in the background, so like they're just seeing all that, but it's not physically me. I've set up the tools and the automations so that I don't have to keep doing those repetitive tasks, which has been so alleviating, and then I can show up and start something new or work on my business instead of in my business, which is phenomenal to be doing that 20%.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And letting all that stuff just work in the background so you can just
Yeah.
take a breath.
Yeah.
Just step away. Yeah.
And then like one of the things too I did want to share is like I do a lot of networking, and when we're networking, most of us are looking for more leads, right?
Mhm.
And so I really have enjoyed being able to 6x our leads by just utilizing a keyword chat automation.
Mm-hmm.
And so if that's like something that you are like, oh my gosh, like I need more leads in my business, that's something that we can share with you how we did it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that you can implement it in your business, because it's been so significant. And literally like from 1 month, we had like 9 sales calls like lined up. And then the very next month we went to 54 sales calls, which was like, oh my gosh, like just the difference of having 9 to 54 in like a 3-week period was so significant, right? Like we're like, whoa,
Right.
like what is happening?
Right.
You know, so then we had to like, you know, that more business is coming, you ramp up your team and you get them all like, okay, here's the goal, you know, move
Mm-hmm.
all that,
Mm-hmm.
all that takes place moving forward, which
Yeah.
is so neat to have
Yeah.
that growth.
Especially because those appointments were other business owners, the other like-minded individuals who were looking to
Yeah.
do the same thing, you know, with their
10x.
business. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And getting in front of them, understanding what it is that was important to them, what their business did,
Yeah.
you know, helped grow not only our network, but then theirs, because now we've got this referral system going on,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that, oh my gosh, we just had a conversation with Eric, and Eric has a fantastic insurance company. He's who you need to contact for X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
You know, so by having that connection, whether it's in your own town or it's across the country or even across the world, you
Mhm.
know, because we're so interconnected.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
one of the conversations I just had with the therapist today is we're so connected now in this day and age with the internet and, you know, cell phones or whatever and social media, but yet we're disconnected. We've forgotten to make those intricate relationships that I think we've
Yeah.
created with
Yeah.
having this network of like-minded individuals with
Oh,
businesses.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that. Like we have one of our subscribers is doing a retreat and she's doing this amazing retreat for other entrepreneurs. Well, that's who we're in front of. We're in front of other entrepreneurs. So we're like, send over your information. And then even Dana was like, I've got the perfect person for you.
Mhm.
You know, so we're also your sales force moving forward too,
Mhm.
always like listening, oh yeah, you know what, so and so could benefit from this person.
Yeah.
You know, and like thinking about how to even intermingle even more,
Mhm.
and have even more connectedness to help our network thrive even bigger and better than what it was.
Yeah.
You know, which is
Yeah.
cool.
And then you find, you know, just how Dina and I got together, you know, with this whole thing is you find people that lift and inspire you. So then you find a network of friends, that friendship,
Yeah.
you know, and it moves forward too. So that's always
Mhm.
exciting
Yeah.
as well. So
And those relationships are, you know, they're birthed out of whatever, but then, you know, you're cultivating those the entire time and they're like, oh my gosh, like these people are so cool, I'd love to vacation with these people. All right, let's make a vacation, you
Right.
know.
yes,
And
yeah,
here we are.
yeah.
Let's
Our
make a business. Okay,
right.
here
Well,
we
and
are.
even our
Yeah.
business coach, he said that he was going to gather with his team and we're like, oh,
We're like, can
we
we
want to
go?
go. Like, that'd
Yeah.
be sweet. Like,
Yeah.
let's do that. Sorry if I just spit all over
No,
you. It
you're
was like
good.
total shower.
You're good. It's all good.
Again.
And then you know, like, and then the cool thing is then, you know, he's like, well, let's make that happen.
Yeah.
You want to come? Yeah. Oh, we'd love to have you there, you know, and you have team there. And so like, you know, then we can all be together and we all have the same common goal. And when we all have the same common goal, putting everybody with the same common goal together then makes even more movement and more momentum.
Right. And you find
Yeah.
those little golden nuggets in conversations that you didn't ever anticipate having.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you talked about the book, you know, 10x is easier than 2x. There's some really significant stories in there of people going from 2x to 10x.
Mhm.
And it all has to do with the mindset. And it's a shift of thinking differently. And the cool thing is when you're amongst people like that, that are 10x thinkers, you think about things that you wouldn't have thought about before.
Yep.
And they challenge you to think differently and they challenge you to do things differently
Mhm.
and become better. And so every day you're becoming someone new and better and new and better and new and better. And then over time that multiplies so greatly.
Mm-hmm.
And then your touch, your reach, your significance, your purpose, your design all flourishes as well, which is
Right.
really cool.
He does talk about too, there's that spin, and this is even a post that I had put out a few weeks ago on a conversation that administration at my daughter's school had with the entire student body, about um, their mindset, who they were trying to build these kids to be. And one individual said, well, I just, in the comment thread, I have no interest in owning a business. And that's okay. What's
fine.
really cool is not everybody is in that mindset. So it doesn't necessarily even have to be in a business like setting that you're going to 10x something.
Mm-hmm.
You can move forward in your own job, or in
Yeah.
maybe it's just your relationship with your immediate family, or with your own kids, that you want to make that 10 times better than what it is currently now.
Mhm.
So you don't even have to be in the business sense,
No.
to be doing whatever 10x jump that you want.
Yeah.
One of the examples that I gave to our girls, and Dusty and I, we're entrepreneurial, we're constantly thinking about business and how things work, and then trying to teach our children to understand that, not to necessarily push them in that direction, but let them know that that's an option.
Yeah.
That they're not just meant to be employees that run by a clock, and that their lives are
Mhm.
dictated by the 9 to 5. And it's been an interesting transition as we've had these conversations with them, because it gets those
The ball
little
rolling.
cogs
Yeah.
going,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh,
Oh.
well then why do you save your receipts?
Mhm.
Well, it's a tax write-off.
Yeah.
Well, what is that? It's just things that,
Yeah.
spark these little conversations in the younger
Yeah.
generations.
It's so cool.
As far as business is concerned, but then my girls are very competitive driven,
Mhm.
so our second oldest, for instance, has a dream to play with her oldest sister on a varsity game before she graduates.
Mm.
So having that example of her, like, don't just dream to play varsity, push it further. Maybe
Yeah.
you want to go on a full ride scholarship, practice like you want a full ride scholarship,
Yeah.
or practice like you want the WNBA, draft position.
Mhm.
Like 10x your goal. Don't limit yourself at the, wherever, like, push yourself, and then wherever you get with your 10x jump,
Yeah.
is dependent on the effort that you put in.
Yeah. It's so cool. What a
Mhm.
great lesson for them.
Yeah.
That's so neat.
Even on vacation,
Yeah.
coming back from vacation, they're
Yeah.
like, oh, mom, would you help us, start a smoothie shop? Sure.
Yeah.
Where?
That's so
So
cool.
it
Yeah.
gets that conversation going.
Yeah.
But then there's the really hard, they also see Dusty and I, like, he's up at 4:30 to get up to go to work, and then sometimes now with the girls' schedule, we're not home till 9:30, 10 o'clock, depending on where
Yeah.
we are.
Mhm.
And then same with mom. Mom is answering phone calls or whatever, even, as we're transitioning throughout the day. They see how much effort goes into that.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah.
it's not all easy at all.
No. And I think, taking those bits and pieces and then helping them create good boundaries too, because we all know that with entrepreneurship, sometimes it's really hard to clock out.
Well, what was the
Right?
conversation we had earlier with a
Yeah.
client this week? He's been on burnout twice.
Yeah.
And he's a
Yeah.
very successful businessman,
Mhm.
and the burnout is exhausting. Like,
Oh,
it's a
yeah.
complete shutdown of your system.
Yeah.
Like, you completely disconnect and withdraw from everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's not a healthy response.
no, and as a holistic practitioner, you've got holistic background, and you think about, like, I remember I used to tell my clients, well, either you manage your stress or your stress manages you.
Yeah.
And that's where, at that point where you hit the burnout, that the stress manages you at that point, and you cannot function like a normal human being because you are just so tapped out.
Mhm.
And that's what I love about what we are offering our people and our subscribers, is a way to prevent that burnout.
Mhm.
Yes, there are times where we do answer calls late at night. We have a team meeting at a kind of a late hour,
Mhm.
but we also set boundaries of, what, I am going to be present for my family this time to this time.
Mhm.
I am going to show up to my games. You have games like late at night,
Yeah.
you get to be present for your kids
Yeah.
at those games, You get to go on vacation. You guys just came back from a vacation and you were like totally off the grid
Yeah,
that whole time.
it was beautiful. No
And
cell
it's-
service.
and yeah, no cell service at all, and things run even while you're gone,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's the nice thing about
Having a system in place.
Yeah, a system in place, whether it's takes you or doesn't take you to run that system.
Mhm.
Having tools and the automations and the systems and all those things in place is one of the best ways to prevent entrepreneurial burnout.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it is a real thing.
Yeah.
And it is gnarly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if
Yeah.
you had it, let us know.
Yeah, right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, tell us in the comments if that's been
Yeah.
you, because it's all too common, and it's that burnout is not only mental, it's emotional, and when you
Mhm.
have emotion like that trapped in the body, it can do all
does
sorts of
all
really nasty,
terrible
gnarly
things.
things.
Mhm.
Mhm. And then you get the PTSD of, I'm a failure, I'll never
Yeah,
succeed,
yeah,
all
the
those
awful
rotten, crappy beliefs,
lies.
that we tell
Mhm.
ourselves, especially, I mean,
Like I'm not meant to be an entrepreneur,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
it's never going to work for me. We've all had those conversations in our head.
The devil works, and
Uh-huh.
he loves to just weasel his
Cunning.
little way in there.
Mhm.
For
Yep,
sure.
yep, definitely. So
Yeah. Well, I think that, we could go on and on. There's always a lot of things to talk about, but we
Yeah.
have plenty of Fridays left. But
we do.
yeah, so we just apologize for not being able to jump on yesterday with the business lifestyle. That's just how it is. You just have to adjust and adapt and move forward. And
But we still show up for you.
right, we're
So
always
we're
going to
here.
show up. Always going to show up. So yeah,
Yeah.
so if you guys have any questions for us about the software, or maybe going into business, what some of the things, tips and tricks that maybe we could
Mhm.
have a sit down and visit with,
Yeah.
or maybe you are a business owner that would love to be broadcasted in front of our audience or through our podcast.
Yeah.
Like, we'll drop the podcast link in the comments for both Instagram and Facebook. And if you would love to be on our podcast, we'd love to
We
have
can
you.
feature you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
your
would be
business
really
and
fun.
what you do. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Growing the
awesome.
network, and
Yeah.
and that's what Dean and I are doing. Our
Mhm.
goal is to get a group of 1,000 entrepreneurs together so that we can lift, grow, and inspire together, because that's how we thrive.
Yeah.
As
Yep.
business owners, we need
We
to
want you.
get behind each other and rally each other. So
That's right.
all right, everybody, thanks so much for joining us. You guys have a great rest of your night, and we'll talk to you soon.